Now, you are here because you want to understand if you are chosen, gifted, or intuitive. And you're probably seeking some kind of validation for someone to say, yes, it's you. You have all of these things. And I am here to give you that validation because everybody is gifted. Everybody has intuition and everybody is chosen for something, or they have some very unique purpose in life or zone of genius that they are meant to contribute to the world. So I often find it to be a red flag, and I will link to my video here about this, when coaches or teachers or mentors try to differentiate whether people are chosen as if some people are more special than other people. And I really am here to break that myth. And rather than constantly seeking for external validation that you are special, I want you, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to find your internal validation and how to understand what your gifts are, how your body is speaking to you, and how these two things contribute and will help you find what you are chosen for or what your purpose is. Now, I'm a self-activation mentor, so I work with a lot of people to help them understand what their gifts are. Now, everybody has a genetic DNA that is unique. It means that you are built in a very special way and that you bring very unique passions and the way that you see the world and your style and your flair, the way that you voice things, or even just gifts or things that come easier to you that you are more excited about to do than anybody else. These are your gifts, and they'll be really related to your genetic and energetic makeup. So this means that in some way we are limited by our genetic makeup, right? It's unlikely you're going to become the world's best basketball player if you're really short and really bad at sports. But it doesn't mean that you don't have gifts in the industry of basketball. You might be the world's best person who sees all the different plays, right? But you really have to look at what you do best. What does your genetic and energetic makeup naturally lead to, right? That makes you naturally passionate about, and it is easy to do and it's quick for you. And because of that, you do it better than anybody else. When you tap into what your strengths are, the things that you do better than anybody else, this is when you start to find what your gifts are. And if you can create a career or a business from this place, you will also have your best results. Because if it's not easy and if it doesn't come quickly and naturally and you're not passionate about it, then it's unlikely you're really going to succeed in that area. So this really is how we uncover what our gifts are. And this is when we get that contentment and that fulfillment, right? And that excitement to do it every single day. Now, the problem is that we kind of lived in a very structured and systematic world, right? That kind of ranks skills against each other, right? And what creates more profit and more productivity and more outcomes in today's society. So we tend to think that some gifts are more special than others. But this is really not true. If we can start to find value in what specific gifts that you have, I promise you, and I do this a lot with my mentors, that you can turn that into a business, or you can create or use that in your career. So this might be values and gifts that we don't really recognize in today's society. And these might be gifts that we don't really recognize in today's society. They might be creative gifts. They might be your insights, the depth of what you see. A solution that could save somebody years and years of time. What is the value of that compared to producing something, right? Maybe you can produce a lot and that has a lot of value for you and those are your gifts. But maybe you just have really deep insights and solutions that can save so much money and time, right? So we really have to get so specific about what you do best. I remember a couple of years ago when I started this whole process, I wrote down, what do I want to do? What comes easiest to me? What am I always doing no matter what? I can't stop myself doing it. And I wrote down thinking. And I thought, well, how am I going to build a career out of that? But actually, what it was tapping into is the pattern recognition that I have, the deep insights that I have about people and their businesses and their blocks, right? And so I did turn this into a business. And this is what I do in my mentorships and helping people break through those blocks so they can tap into their success. It has a lot of value for people because then they can then go and earn a lot of money for themselves, right? So this has value. Thinking was what led me to understand what my true gifts were. So don't put any rules on what your gifts are. We need to redefine and revalue what you specifically do that could actually bring really great results to somebody. Sometimes this might even just be that you are such a joyful person. Smiling at some random stranger on the street might actually save their life. Or coming to a group counseling session every single week, but being able to maintain your positive outlook and helping people move through difficult situations, that is a gift. You can create an entire career from that. That can change people's lives. So really, when you go and write down what you think are your gifts are, what you naturally love to do every day. In fact, you do it so naturally, you might not even notice that you're doing it. That's why we need to redefine and revalue. Well, maybe that is actually a gift. Just because the world says, well, there's no career in that, or we don't pay money for that, or that doesn't produce something, doesn't mean that you can't reevaluate how you value that and turn it into your gifted potential. So we must stop that narrative that you're somehow not gifted, or stop comparing yourself to what other people's gifts are or what the world says are strong gifts, and start validating your own gifts and what you want to do, what you're passionate about, and what you do best. Now, when you can tap into that, you will get your success because you will do it better than anybody else. And it is that success niche that no one else can copy you for, right? And that is why I often say that you want to create your career or your business from that place. Now, we then look at how to understand if you are intuitive. Now, everybody is intuitive at the most basic level. It is our body's survival instinct system. For thousands of years, our body has been scanning our environments and giving us little signals about whether there is danger in our environment, whether it's safe, whether we like that, whether we don't like that, whether that excites us, whether that doesn't excite us. Our bodies are all speaking to us in different ways. But once again, as unique as your genetic DNA is, your energetic makeup is also unique. It's really difficult to look to other people and try to copy what they say is how their intuition is speaking to them. Certainly it can guide us and it can help us look and understand what we're looking for or what we're feeling. That can certainly guide us, but ultimately you still need to go within and ask yourself, well, how is my body speaking to me? How is my body's intuition speaking to me? Because everyone has different signals. So you really need to understand and listen and look for the messages and what your body is guiding you to. Now, sometimes people differentiate that maybe some people are more intuitive or psychic or energetically sensitive than others. And that can be true sometimes. Some people do have heightened sensory awareness or energetic sensitivity to their outer world, or they're more empath than other people. But what that means is that those are going to be their specific gifts, right? Doesn't mean that you're less gifted or less special in some way. It's just that those are their specific gifts and they should create their business or really focus in on that. But it doesn't mean that you don't have intuition and that it is not constantly sending you signals and that you can't use it to help you find what you are chosen for. So when we put this all together, we then can find, well, how are you chosen? What is your purpose here? So your purpose will come from what you're most gifted at. What is your genetic and energetic DNA pointing to? How do you do certain things and are passionate about certain things that no one else is really passionate about, and they just don't do it as good as you? And if you follow your intuition to keep guiding you to, that's a yes, that's a no, this is for me, this is not for me, this will slowly, decision by decision, lead you to really understand what are you chosen for and what is your purpose in life. And as I always say, purpose is not so much of a plateau. You don't just arrive at purpose and you're like, I'm here, great, I found it. It's a process. You are constantly going to be learning, expanding, and growing your process and growing your purpose and understanding and building what you are chosen for. But you are chosen for something. There is something very specific that you are meant to do. And I hope that this little video will help you to stop looking for external validation and start finding your internal validation of what you are chosen for. Because you are special and you are chosen for something and you have a very specific purpose that you can do. And you don't need somebody else to validate that. You need to validate that for yourself. And if you subscribe to my channel and go and jump around on some of my videos, you'll see I have a few more videos about how you can really tap into your purpose. As I'm a self-activation coach, just listening to it will help you kickstart and create your internal thinking and creative process to lead you on your own journey. So go and have a look at some of those purpose-led videos, and please leave a comment if this resonated with you or what insights you might have had from listening to this.